Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special news brief. We are bringing to you from Scriptly Adapted a great event taking place in Irvington, New York, August 2nd at the Irvington Library. This event is our news brief and we're going to cover it. We are here with Kate Knowles, as you know, co-host of Scriptly Adapted Entertainment. She has something wonderful going on that she's going to explain to us in this news brief for this week, and we'll get right down to it.
Yeah.
Hello, Kate. I'm Keone.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Well, Kate, first things first, you have a wonderful, your first ever exhibit.
Yes.
Basically chronicling your work from beginning to present, and also celebrating its first year as an official business, Kathryn Anne Photography. What inspired you to create Kathryn Anne Photography?
Well, I've always had a love and an appreciation for art, different types of art. I grew up with a father who was a photographer, videographer, really made a business, and every family vacation it was, cake stand here, cake stand there. But as I got older, he bought me my first camera. I really delved into it as a hobby, and I enjoyed it.
Right.
So it wasn't until last year when I got laid off that I thought to myself, you know what, I'm good at this, I enjoy it, why not make money at it?
Right.
So that's really what inspired me to do, is I just wanted to be happy doing something that I love doing.
Your father was once a photographer who then went into videography.
Right.
So obviously you studied you're around his style, and you're of course around other photographer styles. Can you explain to all of us how you would describe your style when shooting and even when editing your stuff?
Sure. I actually really like that question because I want people to understand, to each his own. To each photographer has their own style, has their own way of shooting, own way of editing, own way of really putting their touch on their photos. I personally don't consider myself of having a style. For me, I shoot and I feel what's in the moment when I'm shooting my client. So if I'm shooting a shy girl, it's kind of a little bit more meek and, getting into her and just letting her shine through. If it's a wedding couple, which I did a couple weeks ago, it's about their energy and their chemistry with each other, and that dictates how the photos turn out. So it's not necessarily I go into every shoot with a specific style, because that could change at any moment. When I edit, I love to edit. I actually prefer editing over photography. I love photography, but...
Now with that said, do you feel, getting back to that question in a minute, do you feel that your editing brings out more of what your vision is supposed to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think editing, someone very wise once told me that editing could be an artistic form in itself. Just because,
Totally
a
agree.
lot of, nowadays with digital, a lot of photographers that learned on film are very wary about spending that much time doing post-production because it's looked at as cheating or, doctoring your photos. But, you don't want to retouch your photos so much you can't recognize who you've shot, your subject. But you want to be able to be artistic and creative in that way. Look at graphic designers. Look at people who edit video and movies.
All artists.
And they all do it in a way that portrays who they are as artists. So when I look at a photo, I get the feel for what I want. Some photos I'm like, oh, that would be amazing in black and white. Some photos I can't decide, so I have them in black and white and color. Some photos I love that little dark edging, as we refer to as a vignette, to attract your eye to the center of the photo, specifically when you're doing a close-up of the eyes or something like that. That's what I love. So I really think editing, what I would say in response is that photography and editing in itself depends on the photographer. It really depends on what their artistic eye tells them to do.
Editing itself, like you said, is not the easiest thing.
No.
Especially when working with, video's different, but especially when working with photos, you don't want to lose your subjects.
Right, because you've captured that moment in time. It's not, you don't have many other.
You don't want to lose your subjects in the effects of an edit.
Exactly. You want it to be. I always opt for natural as much as I can. I don't oversaturate my photos, which is bringing out the color a lot. I don't, overdo it. Because they're humans, they're people. Right. They don't look like that in real life. So you want it to be natural. You want it to be authentic. And because you want your reputation to precede you. You want your work to represent you in the best possible way. And if you're retouching people and making their arms 3/4 thinner than they are, or that's not who you're shooting.
Right.
People are beautiful in all shapes and all forms and all colors and all races. They're beautiful. So you want to capture that because that's authentic, and that's what I try to make my business live up to is authenticity.
Kate, describe to us your most challenging shoot that you've had thus far in your 1 year of KAP, Kathryn Anne Photography.
KAP. I had a subject who was very uneasy in front of the camera, and she made that very clear to me, and probably to make me feel comfortable, make herself feel comfortable, and I was nervous because here is this person who's confiding in me that they don't like being the center of attention or don't like being in front of a camera, and it's a very vulnerable place to be.
It is. Trust me, I've been there.
Yeah,
it is
and so have I. For 28 years I've been there.
It is vulnerable.
So I had to. It was tough for me because I had to navigate it where I wasn't posing her too much or making her feel consciously that she was in front of a camera. I wanted it to be as natural as possible. But I wanted her to know that I wasn't interested in just shooting her. I was interested in getting to know her. And once she felt that connection, I believe, and once she knew that I was genuine, it came across in the photos because she soon started to relax. And she was very, very pleased with them. And she said, I've never met a photographer who, I've never had pictures of me that I liked. And I've never felt so comfortable in front of a camera. And that was probably the best praise of my work that I've ever gotten because she was being herself. But it was a challenge for me because I was like, oh my God, how do I make her feel like herself but still get the shots that I need?
Right. What would you want people to say after they have a shoot with you about Kathryn Anne Photography?
I want them to feel natural and comfortable because once they start to do that, they're able to connect with me as a human being. And I'm a woman, someone's a man, or whatever. We all have gender roles and, society and all that. But I digress. The point is that first and foremost, we're human beings. And if I can connect with someone as a human being and show them that they're important and show them that they're valued, and not only as a client but as a human being, then our shoot's going to be amazing. And I love to get to know people. I learned that from my dad too, and he learned that from his dad. I am. I love to get to know people. I like to talk to people. I like to strike up conversations, and that's how you really get to know people. And at first, people may be a little standoffish because I think that's how we function, especially in New York. But you gotta get through that barrier.
Right. Once you get through that barrier, it's
people are willing to open up, but you have to establish trust.
Right.
And I think that's what it's about.
Everyone is asked this down the line in a business. Where do you see Kathryn Anne Photography in 3 to 5 years from now?
I want it to be successful where the majority of my work comes from referrals. And I learned this in a fast track class that I took back in November. If any of you are starting a new business, fast track new venture, amazing class. If you take it in the city, it's free. No plug there. Learned a lot, and one of the valuable things that I learned out of many was that every little accomplishment you get, you celebrate. Okay, everything you book, everything you do, celebrate. But it's when you get a repeat client, that person has now established loyalty. And I think that that's incredibly important because the first 5 years for a startup is crucial because you haven't broken even yet. You're trying to get loyalty customers. You're trying to build a reputation. So when people book you again, a repeat customer, that shows that they trust you. That shows that you will now get their business.
So Kate, what, now to the exhibit, What should we expect for those who are coming to the exhibit?
Sure.
What should we expect from the exhibit, and what are your expectations from this first ever Kathryn Anne Photography exhibit?
Sure. Well, I'm going to answer that one first. I think my expectations and the reason why I did this was to gain exposure. You know, not necessarily for people to buy prints. That's not what it's about. For me, I'm a new business. I'm an upstart. I want people to know my name. I want people to know who I am. I want people to see a representation of my work.
Right.
That's what it's about. People are very visual. Most people are very visual learners, so I want them to learn about Kathryn Anne Photography through seeing my work. And networking, it's extremely important. So that's what my expectations are. What you can expect is to be dazzled. No.
They will be.
I have about 44 pieces, which is a lot.
The pieces are beautiful.
And, you know, ranging in size. Some of them will be up for sale, some of them will not. You can expect to see a variation of landscapes throughout the course of my photography career. Not in the last year, but from hobby photography too. You can see some detail shots from events that I've done or around, and the majority of the work are portraits. Portrait and event photography is what I do. I love portraiture. I just love it. You know, when I started out photography, I loved doing landscapes, and I hate shooting people. Not in that sense. You know, I hate taking photos of people. But you learn that when you start doing something, sometimes that's when you really learn whether you like it or you hate it. And I love it because you can really connect with people on an intimate level.
Explain to us what your tagline for your business is.
Okay.
And then explain to us the title of your exhibit.
Sure.
And what that means to you.
Sure. Well, actually, it's a two-parter perfectly because they both go hand in hand.
Right.
The tagline for my business originally was create your own story, or create your story. And I thought it was appropriate, but I was doing a shoot, appropriately enough, and there was a man there, and he was being interviewed, and he said, "It's a human experience." And when he said that, it just clicked. It clicked, and I was like, that's it. That's what it is. And, I mean, I must credit him. Nice young fellow from France. But it was just like, boom, and it was different, it was unique, and it was exactly what I was looking for, because when you take the title of the exhibit, which is Through the Lens and Intimate Connection, and goes back to what I was saying, is that we're all human beings. We're all talented in one way or another. We're all creative, and we all should respect each other and connect with each other on a basic human level. And I personally believe that if you can connect with someone on a basic human level, there'd be more respect, and there'd be more understanding and more compassion in life.
Right. Now, give us some information about the exhibit, where to go, where it's at. You know, give us some info.
So the exhibit is a week from tomorrow, Saturday, August 2nd, from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. is the opening reception. You can come at any point during those 3 hours. You can stay for the whole 3 hours. You can stay for 10 minutes. It's up to you. However, if you cannot make it next Saturday for the opening reception, the exhibit will be up all month.
All month of August.
Yes.
So check this
out. So
out.
you can come at any point in time, whatever suits your schedule. The exhibit is being held at the Irvington Library on 12 South Astor Street in Irvington, New York.
And you'll see that nice little graphic later on.
You will, as in right now. What's really convenient about this location is that, now I don't know if you're going to believe me when I say it's literally right across the street from the train station.
And that train line is the Hudson line.
That is the Hudson line along the river towns.
Yes.
And it's Irvington Station. You get off, you're right there. So it couldn't be more convenient.
Great.
It's, if you live in Lower Westchester like we do, it's 20 minutes on 287 towards White Plains. Get off the last exit before the bridge, and you go from there. It's really, really simple, beautiful gallery. It's the Martucci program room, so when you walk into the library, it's the first room.
To the left.
Only room to your left. So those are the details, and there'll be food and drink. The cost is free.
Free, folks. A free summer event.
So
look at it that way.
To appreciate art and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the info. I'll have brochures and pamphlets there, so you're able to take one home. Keep in touch cards. Please
nice.
Come and bring your information. I'd love to network and get to know you.
Very nice.
And that's what it's about. So that's
guys,
what it is.
Well, Kate, thank you, co-host and photographer extraordinaire. Kate, thank you very much for joining
Awesome.
joining us.
Not that I won't see you in 2 days when we do a film review.
Yes, in the Strictly Adapted family watching.
Right.
Please enjoy. Go out and support your local arts. Support KAP, Kathryn Anne Photography. Something really good, something really solid is going on with this business, and it needs to be supported and needs to be grown. And with your help, the people, she could get there.
I appreciate that.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you there. If not Saturday, then during the month.
And join us next time for Strictly Adapted Entertainment film review.
Yes. Bye.
Later.